I thought observation duty would be a good thing to play if I'm going to be talking about the Silent Hill film, which I'm sure I will be. I took notes. I took a notebook and a pen, and I wrote notes. I used all of the pages remaining in my notebook, including the front and the back. So at some point, I'll start talking about them. About the movie. I don't. Oh, my Tamagotchi is yelling at me. I bought a Tamagotchi. I went to the arcade and I got a Tamagotchi with uh my winnings. So if you hear beeping every now and again, it's my Tamagotchi. Um, there is very. I remember not being that much past halfway through and thinking, I don't want to be watching this film anymore. Um, I can go over the notes that I have in chronological order. Some of them are gonna be I already knew it was I already knew it was bad. I was like, if I'm gonna see it, it's gonna be really, really good or really, really bad. And it was really, really bad. So I had no expectations. That's fine. I'll go through my notes in chronological order. Um, the notes are titled Silent Hill Fuck-Ass Film Notes. Uh, sorry, why is James in sunglasses? James isn't cool. Mary C. Toilet stop, Paleville. Okay, like, I was pointing out things that were interesting or otherwise things I wanted to discuss because I think the only things that I really can't even say that I enjoyed about the film. The only things that I can appreciate from the film is that the sound design was pretty good. The music was obviously good, but that doesn't really help the film at all because it's from the games. That picture is different. We're in the hallway. Um, I'm also not going to really be paying too much attention to this game, but I thought it was a good one to sort of pay attention to only sometimes. Whereas if I'm playing Dead by Daylight, for instance, the new chapter dropped today and I haven't been able to get it yet, it's gonna affect the match for other people, right? So I thought something like Observation Duty is really low stakes and it'll be like 2 hours or whatever. And some of the camera angles were good, but again, they take that directly from the games. I can't tell if that painting is different. Like, I haven't been paying attention, I'm gonna be quite honest. So okay, well that one is. That's disgusting. I hate that. So I noticed that obviously they had the toilet stop where you start the game, and I was like, okay, cool. And then it says Paleville, blah 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 blah. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, I can see visually that we're in Silent Hill. This is cool. At some point, as James is driving in the rain, um, you have the welcome sign that's sort of fallen down. It says "We come," and I'm like, oh hell yeah! It says "We come." Hell yeah, we do. So I was like, okay, that's cool. So I was like, okay, so they're at the toilet stop. Obviously, James almost got into an accident. They aren't married. Strangers with lots of exclamation marks. Is this the past? Oh, okay, the mysterious summer storm. Like, I'm like, okay, sure, yes, the Silent Hill summer storm. Okay, sure, that's definitely a thing that exists. Yep. And then well, they were strange. Oh, I know, Goki. They were strangers when in the beginning of the film. I know they were boyfriend and girlfriend in the in the film, But at the beginning, that whole scene where they're introducing themselves, I was like, okay, so they don't know each other yet. Okay, this is weird. So we're starting off as like, oh, um is this a flashback? You know what I mean? And then it was. Um so it then cuts and I'm like, okay, yeah, that was a flashback. Awesome. And then the song, I've got song, Silent Hill 3 song with exclamation marks. Because it's playing Waiting for You, which is the quote unquote live at Heaven's Night version, but it's in Silent Hill uh 4. I was like, oh cool. I don't know. I mean, I know that it is very James and Mary coded and Maria coded, but it was in Silent Hill 4 and it's fine. It's like whatever. It's coded for them. That's great. Love it. I haven't seen any other anomalies, by the way. So if anyone's seen any, that'd be great because I'm not fucking paying attention at all. Something in here is different, I think, but I don't know. Um okay, so we're that was the past and now James is drunk. James character assassination because he comes across as quite aggressive and belligerent and I'm like James doesn't really mm, this isn't really the James Sunderland that I know. Um, okay, but we're going for drunk James. Okay, cool. He's apparently an artist, which is not something that's hinted at even in the game. Either of the games, the original and the remake. It's just he just paints. Cool. Doesn't really make a difference in the grand scheme of things either. It's just like thematic stuff where it's just like, here's some paintings he did. They're all of Mary, whatever. So, yes, I know there's a lot of. I know. All right, I'm barely paying attention. Okay. Um. Shit. Short letter. This is something. This is something that I was like, what do you mean the letter isn't. What do you mean that the letter doesn't even say, in my restless dreams, I see that town? Now, now that I've seen the film, I get it a little bit because of what they changed. However, you could have just not changed that and made a better film and had that letter in. I can't even remember what I can't even remember what the letter said. But it was just like it was so short and so rubbish. And there's no. Oh god, I'm thinking about it more, and I'm just like realizing all of the details that don't make sense. They just don't make sense, like at all. Just, ugh. There is no. Where did the letter come from? Because he apparently came home and he was drunk and he found the letter and apparently the letter is real but she is dead, but then it was all a loop question. Whatever, so the letter is shit. And then I've got uh acting. What is that? Because the way that he was speaking after, like, as he was reading the letter. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ghost? I'm just moving past that, thank you. I was like, this is ridiculous. I hate this actually. Death? We come, cool. Crash? Mustang? No. Like, why is James Sunderland driving a Mustang? Why is James Sunderland driving a Mustang with sunglasses, listening to rock music in either Silent Hill 2 original and then the remake? Is there anything about James that is cool or interesting? No, he's just a guy, but he's not like, there's no spice to him whatsoever. He's just a mayo man. In the original, you don't know anything about his past. But in the remake, we know that there's like his office set up, right? Like he works a shitty office job. Like he's just a guy, right? So why has he got a Mustang? Why is he listening to rock music? Why is he cool and stuff? I don't get it. Also, when is this film set? I have to ask because at one point there was a calendar that said 1993 on it, but then this motherfucker has a smartphone with a flashlight on it, which I was like, we are not doing the flashlight thing because that is absolutely ridiculous. He does get an actual flashlight, but yeah. And then Angela shows up. The first time Angela shows up, I did write over some of these because I couldn't see because it was dark. Um, so we even got that little bathroom scene, and I was like, okay, cool. We've got the bathroom scene, but again, there's no like talking about Mary. He's just completely silent, and then he goes outside and doesn't even have a map with him. There's extra things on that table right there. That looks a little bit too full for me. So I was just like, okay, fine. Angela, something, something, something. No extra object. Okay. I. He went to sleep right in the car. Yeah, that was expected. He went to sleep in the car when it was raining, and he woke up and it was foggy. And I was like, okay, cool. Great. Uh, shots are good. Like again, I was saying like some of the shots are good. Um, Oh yeah. At one point he's like, our place, our town, our love, but it's really robotic. I've got acting, bitch. Where? Angela appearance immediately crazy, as in she's like too. She's being played um too much, right? Like she's not subtly weird and just like you know that she's not just slightly off. She's very immediately insane, and I'm just like, that's okay, fine, sure. Um, uh, One of the things that I pointed out was that they're going with the ashes theme as opposed to snow. Now, in the original Silent Hill, it very clearly is snow that's falling. There's fog, but the snow that falls when it's dark and all of this other stuff, it's actual snow. It is literally snow. It's like snow at this time of year. It's canonically snow. The reason why ash is hi Nab. We're observing stuff, but I'm also talking about the Silent Hill movie. If you haven't seen it, there's going to be spoilers. If you have seen it, I'm so sorry. So have I. And if you don't care, then stick around. That's fine. I'm also not actually paying attention. I'm just pressing left or right every now and again and maybe seeing something out of place. Anyway, so canonically it's snow, right? It's snow. Um but the first one is passable. The first one is passable. Canonically it's snow. In the first movie that the Christoph Gans did that movie as well. And what they went with, they based the movie off of Centralia, which is a town in Pennsylvania. I believe it's Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, which is essentially an abandoned mining town where the mine is still on fire to this day, and it's like really dangerous and kind of abandoned, and there is fog and ash and things like this, right? So aesthetically that makes sense. And then what they did with the original movie is they went, okay, so we're going to go with the fire thing. There's a big fire, it's a whole fucking thing. People think that Silent Hill is based off of Centralia. No, it's just a small main town that just has fog. That the film used Centralia as the reference point, and then everything else from there sort of either also uses Centralia and does the whole fire ash smoke thing, or you know, there was some snow in some of the scenes in the movie, but it was not like thematically meant to be like a reference to the first movie or anything. I haven't seen any anomalies, by the way, so if people are keeping an eye out, that'd be great. Thank you. Um, so I noted down that they're still going with the ash themes. That there was a big fire and rain happened and it sort of just radiated the town essentially. That the air is difficult to breathe. It's all smog filled. People are clearly not well. People who stay there are clearly not well. Which would be the case um, if you're in a place where breathing is hard. I mean, like anyone who sort of has a lot of smoke inhalation is gonna sort of have a lot of struggle breathing. Eyes are gonna be red and all this stuff, right? So I haven't seen a single anomaly. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have not been paying attention at this point. I feel like I should just be having a yap stream. I'm gonna be quite honest because I haven't seen jack shit. Anyway, so I was like, okay, they're going with the ashes theme. There's a fire theme, which okay, all right. Well, I've seen an anomaly. Other. Let's go for other. Um, and you guys can't see it, but I am moving my hands around a little fruity like as I'm doing this because I'm really emotive right now. Um, that's a thing on the wall back there. Okay, fine. Is he these blinds always down? I really don't know. I have not been paying attention. I'm just gonna do this. So, uh, then, okay, fine. I guess it's fine. I've got Angela's depiction is insulting visually. I don't know if you know this about me, but I like Silent Hill. I I'll say it. I like Silent Hill, and I do like Silent Hill 2. Silent Hill 3 is my favorite, but Silent Hill 2 is really good. And Angela specifically from Silent Hill 2 deserves the entire world, and nothing bad should ever happen to Angela. So I have a soft spot for Angela Roscoe. Now, when Bloober Team were announced to be doing the remake, I went, ooh, okay, fine, we'll have a look, we'll see. And they did it really well. Really happy about that. I didn't know what to expect for this Angela depiction. I'm gonna be quite honest. And well, I mean, we'll get into it, but initially I was like, okay, this is Angela. Great. She seems visually, she's just so, this is clear. This isn't really Angela because Angela is supposed to be, is about 19, but she has been aged beyond her years due to trauma, right? And she dresses and acts a certain way. That didn't come across. She just came across as a fucking weirdo. Um, just weird, just weird. And then that whole bit where she's like, if we don't find the person you're looking for, come back to me, or like whatever. I was like, okay, cool. So apparently Mary lived in Silent Hill, question mark. Camera angles, noise ambience, good so far. I can see the flower shop. Woohoo, I saw the flower shop. Like I've got 2 exclamation marks with that. James casting sucks. This is not my James Sunderland. As my sister said, I'll attribute this quote to her. To be fair, yes, okay, I might as well. Attribute this comment to my sister, James Sunderwhelming, which is hilarious. So that was something my sister came up with. Lying figure, radio. Okay, cool. I'm seeing these things. However, it's not. It's not a lying figure. It's a homeless man? Question mark. Now, okay. Yes, we needed a mystical hobo. is what I've written down because he's like, they're coming, and I'm like, okay, cool. In either of the games, James didn't speak to a mystical hobo that lived under the bridge to like be like, oh, there's monsters. That he just found them in that area, and he kind of does, right? So I will say though, James was also calling his therapist around at this time. I was like, okay, in regards to the mystical hobo, um, Actually, there was a memo in the original, I believe, no, the remake, I believe, where there is a memo about a homeless person being found dead in that tunnel area, and it's sort of like the implication in the remake is that if you go the Silent Hill 3 They Look Like Monsters to You route, in which Heather is actually beating up and killing humans that she thinks are monsters, you could make an argument that James is doing something similar in Silent Hill 2 and is just killing people in the, like, he's visually in the other world, but he is kind of just walking around. Like, I don't think that is the case, but there is that whole argument thing, right? So I was like, okay, well, I can kind of see why maybe there would be this mystical hobo just here. And then the other thing as well, and also James sees Heaven's Night and he has this whole flashback. I was like, okay, why did the guy see the lying figures? Like, these are James's monsters. This is something that doesn't make sense to me, and I hate it. And the reason why Pyramid Head is Pyramid Head should not be in anyone else's story, because Pyramid Head is James's boogeyman. That's literally it. Um, all of these monsters should not be these monsters in these particular designs should not be anyone else's monsters. Um, so why did the guy see the lying figure? Like, the it just implies, right, that the lying figures just exist within Silent Hill, but that doesn't. Oh my god, that doesn't make sense. And like, where? Okay, so like, so did Silent Hill 1? There's at no point. At no point was the first Silent Hill ever like. Oh, guys, guys. Oh, I. Okay, all right. So we know that 1 and 2 are standalone stories. 3 kind of is, you can play it without knowing anything, but it is a sequel to the first one. So in my head, the first 2 Silent Hill films, Silent Hill and Silent Hill Revelation, that's 1 and 3, are done really badly, right? But it is still 1 and 3. A bingo board, yeah, yeah. Um, so so 1 and 3, that those were the films. Christoph Gans did the first one, and the second one was not Christoph Gans. Just taking a drink because my throat hurts. Give me a second. Okay, so at no point did the events of the first Silent Hill film really make any. There was no bearing on those as to the story of this film at any point. Um, so it's almost like the first film hasn't happened, and that's kind of how the games work in a way, because the first game themselves is not. um Again, they expand upon the cult a lot and they make it more of a big thing, and it's just like this whole thing, right? So I was like, okay, no one else should be seeing these. That is different. No one else should be seeing these monsters, but fine, I guess. Painting anomaly. No one else really should have been like, the lying monster is in the first film and it shouldn't be there because that's in Silent Hill 2, but again, it's a recognizable creature. Again, as you said, Gurky, money. Same thing. Well, the nurses in Pyramid Head are in the first film, and why Pyramid Head is in the second film. Recognizable thing. Get it. Understand. Cool. Um And then I'm like, oh, the emergency alert. Oh, the siren. Awesome. Cool. I'm like, hell yeah, there's the siren playing. Love to see it. And then there's this bit where James goes into Heaven's Night and he has a flashback about one time he went into Heaven's Night, which is a strip club, not a hall for drinking. It's a strip club. It's literally for strippers. There's no strippers. That's whatever, fine. But they're having like a get together, and Mary's like, this is James, and he's like, haha, and they're all like weird and talking about Mary's father. Was it? I didn't write his name down. It's like Joshua Crane or something like this. I don't remember. Um, Mary's family owned the town or something. They're like big people in the town. I was like, oh, distortion in the kitchen. Or distortion? Yeah. And I was like, the second that they started acting weird and mentioning like Mary's father, I went, please not the cult. Please don't have a cult. You can't do this. You can't. You can't. Okay. All right. Okay. So there is a cult in Silent Hill. In the original, there was a cult that wanted Alessa to birth God. Silent Hill 3, similar thing. It's Heather this time. In the film, it's the same thing, but a little bit different. Um, and in Homecoming, the cult make a return as well, and it's called the Order, right? It's called the Order. In this, the cult doesn't have a name, but as far as I can recall, and again, I'm not the be all and end all of Silent Hill lore, but I feel like I would have remembered someone called Crane working in the cult. I'll have to look this up afterwards, right? Like, whatever. However, I know for a fact that Mary and James's story is completely independent of the cult happening. It is just that Silent Hill has become a place in which people who have serious things um that have happened to them or around them or whatever, they have their own trauma and guilt and things. It's a place that, because it's been so fucked up from its inception, it was obviously native land, and then colonizers came and colonized, and there were plagues, persecutions, civil war stuff happened, just generally lots of like weird stuff. And then the cult did come and like run the town, but under a guise of like extreme Catholicism. It's like a whole thing. So they kind of got away with a lot of stuff. And so the cult has always been there, sort of finagling supernatural stuff in the background, but on the other side of that, it has been a place of a lot of death and destruction and tragedy and sadness from when, it had obviously been rightful indigenous land, that was sort of then poisoned, essentially. Like, obviously the whole burial ground trope is a thing, especially in horror, and it kind of does build on that, but not directly saying because this is indigenous burial ground these things are happening. It's more just like there's so many other things as well that there was already a basis of that indigenous sort of tragedy and sadness that happened in this area because of things that just happened even before anyone from anywhere else came here. But it was sort of like a vortex of all of this stuff together, along with the Civil War and just plagues and lots of different accidents and things. And then Alessa's existence, her being essentially like a psychic witch sort of thing, who's able to move things and manipulate things, and is just very mentally strong. What happened with her, and the reason why Silent Hill is what we see of it today, in terms of the horror aspect, is because the things that happened to Alessa were so horrible that she was strong enough mentally but not physically to be able to manipulate the town and manifest things. So the reason that there are things like the lying figures and Pyramid Head and stuff like this is because the town now has the latent power that Alessa was able to manifest into the area that is Silent Hill, so that other people like James, or people who have a connection to Silent Hill in one way or another and have something happen, get brought back to Silent Hill to experience something. So it's not directly, ooh, indigenous burial ground, sort of like as a trump card to be like, look, this is why scary things are happening. It's an amalgamation of lots of horrible things that happen that make it a place where, when more supernatural or spiritual energy is brought into that place, things happen, right? So there is a town of Silent Hill that is perfectly normal. People go there, people live in Silent Hill. And then you have the other world and the Fog Town, and those are sort of what we see in the games, right? So 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 the cult is essentially a pseudo religious, seeming like they're Catholics, but like zealous Catholics, to the point where they can't be persecuted because they're like, oh look, we're just Catholics, it's fine, whatever, ooh. Who are basically responsible for the physical happenings that went on with Alessa and her having to give birth to God and then believing in that God, and it's a whole fucking thing. So that's the cult. That is the order. That is the order. There's no the cult that is apparently in this film, and I haven't unpaused the game for 10 minutes now, and I realize this. Uh, this is why people should never ask me about Silent Hill, because I will just talk about Silent Hill. And I'm on the third page of my notes, by the way. So um okay, the cult as in the film is a bullshit cult. I thought that the lying figures looked a bit too clean, and they didn't act. So they're supposed to look like bodies in body bags, and they don't really look like that. They kind of look like they're shrink wrapped. Um, um, okay, so the chase scene post the Heaven's Night flashback thing, where all the lying figures appear, like 20-30 lying figures appear. I wrote down, it reminds me of the Silent Hill Fallout 4 mod, or like the Fallout 4 Silent Hill mod rather, that I did install, and I went, what is this? And it's just like a whole fucking thing. Bugs eating lying figures again. The bugs are a thing. I don't know why they played such a big part in this film. The Woodside apartment, first location. All right, cool. I'm like, cool, we're in the Woodside apartment, great. And then there's a Mary jump scare, and then I've got, they lived in the Woodside. Visions like the fucking cult. Phone flashlight ain't it. No cult, please. And then underlined, please don't make it the cult. Underlined. Like, I'm just like, I don't want it to be about a cult. Silent Hill 2 is not about a cult. End of. So I underlined it in my notebook. Guess what it was? Fucking cult. Some goodest visuals. Some moths. Ooh. Thank God, normal flashlight. Like, his phone runs out of battery, and then he gets a flashlight. At one point I wrote, I don't get this film. I wrote mannequin, shit acting from all. Oh no, cult. Oh no, cult. Cult behavior. Uh, for fuck's sake, cult. I hate this. Not even the Silent Hill 3 cult, because it's not even the order. It's not even the base order, right? Like, it's not the order. It's not Claudia, it's not Leonard, it's not Alessa, it's not trying to birth God. I would be confused as to why they thought they would need to inject that into the Silent Hill 2 film, but it's also not even something that is from any of the original games, right? It's it's nothing. Um Also, to for Christoph Gans to get to the first lying figure and stop playing explains a fucking lot, because the film visually sort of went good in terms of like, oh, here's the thing, here's the radio, blah blah blah, cool, great, and then it just went off the rails. um I wrote over so much of this by accident. um it's like Eddie, uh I think I was like, Eddie, what happened to this man? Because he's just like this old, well, he's not old, he's like a middle-aged guy, he's like a middle-aged fat biker guy who's like kind of just spends his time watching football and yells at his wife in front of the TV kind of guy. um as opposed to someone who is clearly immature, maybe just like an overgrown boy kind of thing, which is what Eddie is in the games. He's clearly just someone who just is uh he's just a guy. But then also everyone can see the monsters. Also Laura shows up, and I'm just like, she looks like a sick Victorian child. um that at no point do they ever explain. I mean, maybe I missed how long the like Silent Hill has been like this. Like, they're not really clear. They just say months. So I guess if we can say maybe 6 months between what had happened with like the fire and stuff, and then the whole loop of James going into Silent Hill, whatever. It is actually really confusing, and I would have to watch it again to get some of the bits and pieces, or read a synopsis because I don't really want to watch it again. But everyone can see the monsters again. Mm, I know that Laura shouldn't be seeing monsters, so I don't know um what's going on with that. She doesn't really see them actually. She's kind of a monster herself in her own way. It's really weird. Um Radiation style event, question mark, because I'm thinking, oh, what if they really changed it and it's not actually a fire, it is actually some kind of like weird apocalypse thing. I'm confused. Um Everyone is being character assassinated, and then Pyramid Head showed up. So I just wrote, Pyramid Head, it's him, it's him, his daddy, it's him. I was really excited. However, 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 why can everyone else see him? Why is he roaring? And then, so he makes sounds. He's actually like, "Arr, arr," like he makes, he's like a guy. And Pyramid Head in the original game, I'm leaning back in my chair. My hands are off my mouse and keyboard at this point. I'm not even playing the game anymore. I'll get back to it eventually, but right now we're going with these notes, right? Uh, um, in the original game, when you shoot Pyramid Head when you're in the closet, as James, and you shoot the gun through the closet door, he does make some sounds of like, and it's always seemed a bit off because it kind of makes him seem a bit more human, and he's really not supposed to be. He's supposed to be just like this monolith, essentially. In the um in the films, I don't think he makes any sound. I'd have to watch the second one again, but I don't think in the first one he does. And then in the second game, in the remake, he doesn't make any sound at all. He's um completely silent. So for him to start going raw as he's trying to like get through the bars to get at James just doesn't make any sense to me. And then he like, so basically from at that point he's chasing James, and it doesn't really make sense that he's doing that. Then then they have the mannequins. Now, in the movie, they don't have him shoving a mannequin down the garbage disposal like they do in the original games, where it's that weird, like, is it sexual, is it not, like it's unclear, and it's not supposed to be. He's supposed to just be destroying them. The second time that you see in the original game, he is essentially sexually assaulting that mannequin, but that's not in the second game, not in the remake, and it's not in the film either. um One of the things that I didn't like from the second film, Revelation, is mannequins exist in Silent Hill 3, but they are not mannequin monsters. There's just a scene in the office building where there's a bunch of mannequins in a room, and you go around the corner and suddenly there's a scream, and you go back around the corner and the mannequin doesn't have its head on anymore and there's blood everywhere. And it's a really like short, shocking scene that doesn't really mean anything. It's just a scare. In the film, they decided to expand upon that and make a mannequin monster. Now, I personally don't have a phobia of mannequins or dolls. I do know someone who does. I actually know two people who do. What I do have a phobia of, and it's quite a severe phobia, is I have arachnophobia. Now, in the second film, what they decide to do is they decide to make a spider monster with these mannequins. Now, it's actually pretty bad because it moves. And let me see if I can get an image for you guys. The problem with it is sorry. Oof. I shouldn't have looked it up. Anyway, anyway, um the what they did in the sequence, it's all CG as well. Um, it is objectively cool if those things were also included in um in the film, right? Like, let's see, do I have a thing ready? What is this? Oh, it's creator code names. Here we go. All right, cool. So this is the original. It's literally just this. It's you just walk in and there's just mannequins, and it's normal, but she points out that it's like it's really creepy that there's a room full of mannequins, and it's like, yeah, it is. Again, this is it normally. You walk up to it and it's just, you're just like, oh, it's weird or whatever, and then you go around the corner and you pick up some ammo and there's a scream and this happens. So it's a very short moment that gets you if you're not expecting it. I don't know if I want to click on this. You can see why maybe I wouldn't like this. Right? Um Objectively cool in the sense that um it does use like the whole mannequin thing that doesn't actually, otherwise they don't get there's no mannequins in there otherwise. I'm also just being really careful that like actual spider pictures aren't coming up, right? Looking at it maybe like this doesn't look so bad, but when you actually see how it walks, it's really, really, really gross. Yeah, I mean, it's that like weird shitty CG bullshit. um I don't know if there's going to be sound on this, but maybe there won't be. It doesn't really matter if there isn't, but also I don't know who this girl is. She's just in there to ugh. Anyway, um so that's it's not the best part of the film by any means, but anyway, so that's in the second film. Guess what they fucking did in this film? They did another spider scene. um but it's worse somehow. It's worse somehow, and again, I don't know why they needed to do that. um in big letters I wrote, why a spider? And then Spider Mannequin versus Pyramid Head boss fight. Literally so stupid. Literally so fucking stupid. Um, Sorry again. Why is he roaring? And then at one point it zooms in. Um, I snoozed it just for now. But yes, I did absolutely 52 minutes, and I've been talking this entire fucking time. Um, at one point they zoom into his human eye inside of the mask, like the Pyramid Head, and I'm just like, if Pyramid Head is Mary's dad, I'm gonna kill myself in game. I didn't write the in game part, but you know, I was just like, I can't do this. Pyramid Head isn't supposed to be a human. That's one of the reasons why I don't like one of the endings of Silent Hill Homecoming, is because they're like, oh, you can become Pyramid Head. I was like, no, you can't. No, you can't. Anyway, I don't even want to take these notes anymore. This is so stupid. I hate every part of this. Angela, again, mirror scene is stupid. I hate this. Uh, I hate what they did to Angela. Genuinely, I can't with this film. Oh, Maria showed up. No footprints when chasing Laura. That's kind of neat because like Laura isn't really there, I guess. Um, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a nice touch, I guess. Like Laura doesn't have any footprints. Is what I mean to say. James definitely does. Um, there's no maze at Rosewood. It's maze-like, but there's no maze at Rosewood. Um, Wig Marie Wig. Like I'm just like pointing out the fact that it's clearly a wig. The acting is so shit, and then it's a cult. I'm fucking done. Um, uh, Hospital is too big. Silent Hill is not a city. It's just a town. It's not a city. Why is the hospital 10 floors? There's only 3 floors in the game. Literally, it's big, but it's not that big. Literally, literally made up a new cult for this cunting film. I'm gonna die. Okay, these nurses better be the best part of this stupid film. They weren't. They weren't. Maria was stabbed by the nurse, and I was like, are you fucking kidding? That doesn't happen. At one point, the music box starts playing, but it's from the original game. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't want to watch this film anymore. Vecna asks Mary, why is there Silent Hill 3 ambience? I wrote something upside down. Oh yeah, that'll be later. What the fuck, Grave? Okay, so I don't understand. They don't. I can't. I can't. I can't talk about this fucking film anymore. I can't understand why they smushed all of the characters together. Why did they do this? Why did they do this? Why did they do this? Why did they smush all of the characters together? Like they just, it was just like this weird thing where like they just like there's no prison segment. The labyrinth isn't really there. It sort of pseudo is, but it really isn't. Um, that whole bit where Pyramid Head kills Maria, but it's almost like James is controlling Pyramid Head. Um, and then I was like, oh, they end up kissing, and I'm like, no. I'm like, huh, Pyramid Head killed her, but, and then, and then, um, thanks for the luck, Eve. And then, uh, when when I found out that James is essentially Pyramid Head, I just wrote, no, 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 over, over. And then and then I wrote in water ending, cool. And also at the end, Mary asks James to kill her. It's not really what happens in the game. He doesn't even kill her with a pillow. And then at the end, I wrote loop. And then the movie ended, and I kind of just went, okay, cool. So, so that was about an hour of Silent Hill the movie, or Silent Hill 2, Return to Silent Hill. Um, I am gonna take a break because I do need to rest my voice, and then I'll actually play this fucking game. I I'm so glad that the tickets were like I got them for cheaper because holy shit. Just I would rather play Silent Hill Homecoming sober than watch that film. I'm not going to, so I haven't installed, but I would rather do it. All right, ad break. I'm gonna go rest my voice.